How could, I'll put it this way, how could they make a judgment? How could they nonstop, relentless testimony from paid employees and towards the end of the trial, randos, as I say.
What's up guys, Enigma here, and this is Karen Heard's latest interview, where she basically plays victim and accuses the entire jury of being totally biased in their decision making, and also accuses every single witness who testified against her as being paid by Johnny. You couldn't make this up. Amber is the single most entitled celebrity that I have ever seen, and this interview just continues to make her look even worse. So, let's take a look.
I don't care what one thinks about me or what judgments you want to make about what happened in the privacy of my own home and my marriage behind closed doors. I don't presume the average person should know those things, and so I don't take it personally. But even somebody who is sure I'm deserving of all this hate and vitriol, even if you think that I'm lying, you still couldn't look me in the eye and tell me that you think on social media there's been a fair representation. You cannot tell me that you think that this has been fair.
Oh Amber, I can. Why can't you just let your own suffering end? Why do you have to continue with this? Take your loss and move on. Don't go on primetime TV for an interview. You clearly want attention. So first of all, this is completely scripted and rehearsed. No one says, quote, "I don't care what one thinks," unquote. I mean, this isn't the Victorian era. Someone wrote that and it just looks so odd. Again with Amber's final testimony in the trial, it just looks too rehearsed. The delivery of the lines looks like it's straight out of a movie. The wording, the delivery, and the body language to match are all so cliche. And it's just corny at this point because the jury found you guilty of defamation and exposed your lies with numerous different independent witnesses calling you out on it. Going to the media is just going to get you more clout and more hate.
There's no polite way to say it. The jury looked at the evidence you presented. They listened to your testimony and they did not believe you. They thought you were lying.
How could, I'll put it this way, how could they make a judgment? How could they not come to that conclusion? They had sat in those seats and heard over 3 weeks of nonstop, relentless testimony from paid employees and towards the end of the trial, randos, as I say.
So you don't blame the jury?
I don't blame them. It wasn't, I don't blame them. I actually understand he's a beloved character.
My frustration at how this woman bends facts around her is unable to be measured. The jury is handpicked from all walks of society, and they are trained and briefed at looking past bias. Amber's response to how the jury unanimously found her guilty was that Johnny was paying the witnesses to come out and support him. Listen, if I get offered money by Johnny to come out in court and lie for him, I'm going straight to Amber's lawyers and selling them the information, because I could make a lot more by doing that. By what Amber's trying to say here, no matter who was on the jury, seeing those testimonies would have made them find her guilty. So what does she propose to change then? The only thing that she's proposing by saying this is that we must exclude all witnesses that came to testify against her, because they were all magically being paid by Johnny. She even calls some of the eyewitnesses randos, as if you couldn't be more disrespectful and insulting than that. She is a typical Karen. I think I'm gonna have a stroke if I keep trying to comprehend the logic of Amber Heard. She is a classic narcissist who, when anyone comes out to disagree with her, insults and belittles them, as she did with all the people who testified against her in this trial, including Kate Moss. You only have to look at how she acts behind the camera to see this narcissistic behavior, even well before the trial started. Amber is the worst Karen that I've ever seen. Yes, even worse than the Victoria's Secrets Karen.
And people feel they know him. He's a fantastic actor.
Their job is to not be dazzled by that. Their job is to look at the facts and the evidence. And they did not believe your testimony or your evidence.
Again, How could they, after listening to 3.5 weeks of testimony about how I was an uncredible person, not to believe a word that came out of my mouth?
When this interviewer makes the obvious point that the jury knows and are trained to not be subject to bias, Amber distances with her head. She knows that what the lady said makes perfect sense and looks away to protect herself as she feels super threatened. When you're doing distancing behaviors after hearing basic facts, you know what you have to say makes no sense. And guess what? Her response to being told that the jury knows how to do their job? She just repeats the exact same point over again, completely dodging the valid question of the interviewer. Nothing she says makes any ounce of sense. She's doing the same thing as the flat earther does when they're shown data supporting the world being round. Well, actually it's an oblate spheroid, but never mind. It's called bridge and pivot. Disagree, repeat what you just said, and then change the subject. That's the tactic of someone who's incorrect, and they know it. I really do look forward to watching this full interview when it comes out, as it's going to be hilarious seeing Amber just throw around more insults and accusations whilst making herself look more like an idiot, if that's even possible. The funny thing about all this is that she isn't actually aware of her own image. She isn't aware that the reason she lost this trial was her arrogance and the lies that she was saying. And she isn't aware that the reason the public hates her so much is that she says things just like this. It's just so stupid. So thank you so much for watching this video, guys. If you did enjoy it, please be sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more content, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.